guys, it is Sarah Buckley and it is Thursday, meaning we are going over our total body workout. So we're going to be doing my traditional format for the Group X class that I used to teach. So 50 seconds for each exercise. We have 4 exercises to get through. So we're going to start with the lower body, move to some upper body, we'll move to cardio, and then we'll get to our core exercise. So you're going to do 3 sets, so you're going to repeat that for 2 more sets. Take a longer breather in between, take a minute or 2, reset for the next bracket. So we have 3 brackets to get through. So we'll start with bracket number 1. We have a narrow squat to a wide squat if you'd like a weight. Otherwise you can just go body weight, but you're going to start with those feet kind of only about hip width apart. So narrow squat, step it wide for that wide squat, and then bring it back in, and then you're going to go out the other side. So again, we're still staying evenly distributed through both feet, driving through those heels, grounding with those toes, keeping that rib cage tucked in, core nice and tight. All right, so 50 seconds here, and then we're going to move on to a push-up to prone row for our second exercise. So our upper body, you're going to be straddling that weight, whatever it might be. If it's not a dumbbell, it can be a wine bottle, cans, whatever you've got to work with. So again, feet can be wider if you need a little bit sturdier base. Otherwise, you can bring them in a little bit. But we're going to be doing hands a little bit wider than our normal. So we're not directly stacked underneath those shoulders, so we can push up, right? And our elbows are still stabilized over those wrists. You're going to pick it up for a prone row, place it back down, push up, alternate that prone row. Okay, 50 seconds there. And then we're moving on to our cardio. So we have lateral high knees, meaning we're going to start one knee up, and you're going to move a little bit more traveling this instead of just staying stationary. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3. Freeze it for a second. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to go 50 seconds here. Again, using that upper body for that arm action to drive those knees, trying to get really up there, at least 90 degrees that knee bend. All right, 50 seconds there. And then we're moving on to our last exercise, which is our core for that elevated chop. So if you need to, you can always modify by just dropping that knee down. Otherwise, you're going to stay hovering. Start at that bottom hip, right over that shoulder. So we're keeping everything from the belly button down, nice and stable. Going through that motion, nice and smooth. Again, if you're having a little bit more difficulty, keep it smaller. Right range of motion a little bit tighter. If you need more of a challenge, you're going to make it as big as you can, all right? So if you are doing those elevated chops, option 1, I would suggest 25 seconds here, switch right into it, 25 seconds here. Or if that's too much switching for you, 1 whole round here, 1 whole round here, and then split the difference for the 3rd round, okay? So that takes care of bracket number 1. So you're going to go back through that again for a total of 3 sets, all right? Quick breather in between, reset for the next bracket. So we've got forward lunges to reverse lunges. You're more than welcome again to take that weight with you, dumbbells or whatever you have right by your sides. So you're gonna want enough room behind you and in front of you. So you're gonna go forward and back. So we're really stabilizing that left side. Whoop. So if you're more of a right foot, if you're kind of mirroring me, you're gonna be on the other side. But otherwise you're stabilizing that leg, right? We're not really pivoting or transitioning. You're always staying on that same side. So right foot forward, right foot back. Awesome. And then again, you can either decide to go all 1 round for the right side, all the other side 2nd round, and then split the difference the 3rd way. Otherwise, 25 seconds on each side. So if you were splitting it, you just go right into that other side. All right, stabilizing, nice, slow, and controlled. If you need to spot in the center, if you feel like you're falling out of it, right, again, from a side view, making sure that everything is staying nice and smooth, right? We're back, stack, head, shoulders, hips, back knee, right? We're not in that forward lean. All right, so then we're moving on to exercise 2, which is weights. We need 2 of them. So we're going to do a curl to an overhead press to an overhead tricep extension. So if you have 2 weights, right, you're gonna curl it, you're gonna press it, and you're gonna go into that tricep extension, all right? Bring it all the way back down, right? So from a side view, right? Curl it, press it, elbows 90 degrees, press it back up, control it back down, okay? If you have one weight, you can certainly use heavier book, maybe a like a duffel bag of some sort, something that you can anchor that's about shoulder width apart. So same thing, you'd start at the bottom, curl it, press it, elbows in nice and tight, 90 degrees, right? Making sure that when we're getting that overhead extension, right, we're not dropping lower than about 90 degrees. Elbows are in tight, we're not moving from here, right? We're extending and reaching up for that ceiling. If you need to, stagger those feet. And then we're gonna move on to our cardio, which is a jack to a 90-degree jump and turn. So what that's gonna look like, regular jumping jack, right? 90-degree jump and return. Jumping jack, switch it. If you don't like the jack, or if you don't like the turn, you can also do a jack to just a regular squat jump, okay? Whichever feels best for you, okay? Otherwise, 90-degree jump and turn, or just keep the jacks, whatever is easiest for you. So we're gonna move on from there. We're gonna go into sliders, oblique mountain climbers, to a knee tuck, to tap outs. Sounds very complex, really pretty straightforward. You can take the parts apart and do what works for you, but you're gonna start in that high plank, right? So we're gonna go across, knee across the opposite elbow, other side, knee tuck, and then tap outs, right, or slide outs. So knee across, knee tuck, tap out, all right? If for some reason the knee tucks you're really struggling with, start with just the mountain climbers and the tap outs, or start kind of building it as you need to go. Again, you pick the tempo. You're running on a timer and a clock, so kind of pick the pieces apart that work best for you. All right, and then you're moving back through those same 4 exercises for 2 more sets, right? So you get those 3 sets in there, going back that forward to reverse lunge, right? Curl, overhead press, overhead tricep, jack to 90-degree jump and turn, and then back to those sliders. And then we're on to our 3rd bracket. So our last bracket, single leg elevated hip bucks. We're gonna start on the floor, and we're gonna need a, if we want to use a bench, we can use an elevated surface if you want. I can also show you on the floor. So if you have that elevated surface, you're gonna start here, right? Lower back, starts flat against the floor, 90-degree bend at the knees if you can, one leg extended, drive up, control back down, right? Again, 25 seconds on one side, switch it, right? If you need wider base, or a little bit less, or nothing at all, do what works for you, okay? You can certainly apply that same roll on the floor if you don't like using the elevated surface. Same rolls apply, just flat on the floor, all right? Driving right through the bottom part of that heel. Exercise 2 for here, that's where that band comes into play. So we need either a band, or if you don't have a band, that's okay, no panic. We have another option. We can do those lat pullovers with just weights, a weight or 2 weights, depending on what you have to work with. So option 1 is just that pull apart, right? Elbows in nice and tight, pulling down towards those hips, right? Control it back up. So we're not slacking at the top. We want to keep a little bit of tension, but without shrugging those shoulders up. So big pull, control it back up. Smooth and controlled. We're not pulling away with one hand more than the other. We're trying to keep those wrists relatively stacked over those elbows. Big pull through the upper and outer sides of that back, pulling right underneath the armpits, squeezing those shoulder blades so they're pinching at the bottom. Nice and controlled. If you don't have the band, you're going to use weights instead. So if you have 2, you can put them overhead. If you're on an elevated surface like a bench, that's even easier, right? All the way back, pull it through. So elbows stay a little bit bent, but again, same rules apply. Rib cage is still tucked in, right? Shoulders are backing down. We're not letting them rise up as we go overhead, right? And pull it through. If you only have one weight, same rules apply. Sometimes it's a little easier to control, but you want to make sure that those weights are connected so we're not kind of all over the place. Elbows are still pointing towards the front or towards your toes, right? Following through one swift, smooth movement. And then we're moving on to exercise 3, which is our cardio. So we have a lateral plank walk into a burpee. So you're going to start nice and tall. So in that high plank, so a little different than our push-up, right? Our hands are back underneath us, directly underneath those shoulders. You're going to take a step out, recover, right? Step out, recover, and then burpee, right? All the way up, all the way down. And then you're going to go back the way you came, right? Step out, recover, step out, recover, burpee. All right? 50 seconds of that, and then we're on to our last one, which is our stability ball pass from hands to feet. So I don't have a stability ball. If you have one, by all means, utilize it. I'm going to turn a little bit this way. So essentially, normally you'd have the ball in hand, right? So if you brought it all the way back, you're going to bring it up, and your feet are going to come up, and you're going to grab it in between your feet, right? But notice my shoulder blades are off the floor, and you're going to come all the way out. Back up, grab with the hands, all the way back out. Now, as you're lowering hands and feet, I want you to think about those feet do not have to come all the way to the floor. They also can bend, all right, if you need to, all right? Come back up, shoulder blades come off, all the way back down, shoulder blades come off, all the way back down. If you need to modify that, that's too much, you're not feeling like you're really in your core, you're really putting too much strain on your lower back, feel free. You can also modify to dead bugs instead. You can keep the 90-degree bend at the knees, or if you need more of a challenge, extend out, right? But making sure we're keeping this knee at 90 degrees, we're not pulling it in as we're extending out, okay? Whatever pieces you can do, challenge yourself. Otherwise, that is gonna be your 4th piece to your last bracket, and then you start that series again for 2 more sets, back at that single leg elevated hip buck or on the floor, right? Band lat pull aparts or pullovers, lateral plank walk for 2 to a burpee, and then the stability ball pass, hands to feet, or dead bugs, right? 3 sets of each bracket, 50 seconds of each exercise. Make sure you're slow to rise. So if you're taking an exercise from the floor, back up to your feet. Make sure you take your time. Don't get lightheaded and dizzy. Otherwise, good luck with it. Have fun with it. And we'll hopefully see you guys all soon. Have a great rest of your week.